Well, I just found out about the No Man's Sky dupe glitch, and it's not hard to do at all. Like, it's not like I looked up a guide or anything, but this is one of the easiest glitches I think I've ever seen. So first off, you're going to just want to go and, like, get things mad at you. The best way of doing this is going to be, like, cargo ships, because, one, they're going to give you resources that will help you dupe, and then also, once you, like, piss off sentinels and you start destroying these things, it's not going to be too long for you to get killed off by them, so let's do that. Let's see if we can scoop up some of these resources while we are getting murdered. So that's some iron right there. I'm looking for aluminum mostly, because I'm also thinking about this from like a speedrunning perspective. So this is really all that we need to do initially. We got combat range on the ships, so eventually we'll take critical damage, and we should die here pretty shortly. So let's just take a look at what we've got. We have all kinds of stuff. Actually, we don't need like this much iron and whatnot, so I'm going to just wait for us to die. You could also just like crash into meteors and stuff. That would work out pretty well. I'm just doing this right now because it'll make it easier for me to like get stuff. So then you die. You eventually get nuked out and you die. But here's the thing. If you're testing the game, you might want to think about the average player. Because the average player, if they just die regularly, they might be like, oh man, that's BS, total crap. I don't need to deal with this. And then you can reload your previous save game data, which is going to put you where you were last. And that just depends on where you got out of your ship. So what we can do is you can go into a space station, hop out, hop back in. It's going to save you at that space station. You go out, you do exactly what I just did, and then you're going to die, but it's going to put you there. You find your last save points. That's what I'm doing right now. And then it duped your inventory. Done. Like, that's all there is to it. And I don't understand how there weren't anyone that in testing went, man, this was dumb. Maybe I should try to do that. So now we have our inventory back. But we have a grave as well, right there. That's where we died, and that's where we're going to head to. So we pick up the items in our grave, and it dupes our inventory. Just like that. Now, the reason why I'm thinking about this for speedrunning, because this is a kind of like cheap thing, and it really devalues the game entirely, and it's probably going to be patched very soon. I don't know when, I don't know any details about like if there's an announcement with this currently, but the biggest thing that I see about this is for speedrunning, for however long it stays up. Also, I keep missing because I'm really bad. But yeah, look at that. Inventory full because we have way too much stuff. However, this seems really good for like upgrading your ship and also your warp drive specifically. So I don't need like this much titanium. I don't need this much plutonium, carbon. Like since it dupes your inventory, it starts getting really messy really quick. But I see this for like the reactors because hey, I just need some dynamic resonators now, and I can dupe for nickel and aluminum. Same with this right here. So one more dupe, and I'll have enough emerald to make the warp reactors. So that means you can get the warp reactors really fast. Then you can also dupe fuel, and then you can just bounce to the center of the galaxy really quickly. So it'd be more of a focus on like the early game as to if you should like, I know it's a little bit of aluminum, a little bit of iridium, like whatever it takes to make the reactors. So all you have to do is get nickel, aluminum, gold, emerald, and I believe this is made from copper and iridium. So you just get a couple of those resources, dupe them early, get enough like fuel cells duped in the beginning of the game to like kind of make it progress, and then the speed run comes down to how fast you get the warp reactors. After that, you should have your dupes lined up and some extra fuel to where you just go and win, and also you can dupe Atlas stones along the way. Now this only duplicates what you had in your ship inventory, I believe, but we'll see about that because I had some of those Atlas stones already on me. And with the inventory full, yeah, it seems like that. So make sure you have like 5 Atlas stones and you can do that. So it's also going to be about like how fast you can kind of buzz the path of the Atlas, I guess. And I don't need iridium because I already have the other warp reactor for it. We don't need this much nickel. And we probably don't need this much gold as well because we already have the 1,000 gold. We needed the emerald. We have aluminum. And if we're going to be doing dupes again, then like inventory management, I think is also something. So there's speedrunners out there. I would really love a link to like a speedrunning post about this dupe right now or something like that because I'm honestly fascinated by this. And yeah, so what I could honestly do is get rid of one of these stacks of gold. That way it'll just make it easier the next time I run through some iridium. And it's all gonna be about like micromanaging dupes, which I think is like one of the fun things about whenever you're doing any kind of speed run, like the little bits and pieces to it. So now what happens, so if we look at this, I'll have nickel maxed, aluminum maxed, I'll have enough gold and emerald, and I just need to buy the dynamic resonators, which honestly wouldn't be that hard because you're duping for money as well. And I guess we can just kind of crash through this grave one more time, and there goes our lost inventory. So then all we have to do is hop out, hop in, that's going to save. maybe we could buy the dynamic resonators and then put them in our suit inventory, because I believe that doesn't get wiped out. And then we can just go and upgrade everything, make sure we have enough fuel, and that can come from antimatter. That all we have to do is buy some antimatter. We can dupe those. We can dupe thamium with it as well, and then that's going to give us the fuel cells, which we can then dupe, and then next thing you know, we just go and beat the game. I think that's kind of crazy how it ends up working out. So it would just be like the speedrun would come down to a little bit of luck on the warp reactors, a little bit of luck on your first planets, and also just how fast you can kind of plot this out. So we need, I'll just get all the dynamic resonators, who cares. So we will need 5-ish, I think, because it's like 2 and 3. So maybe just put 1 dynamic resonator in the ship inventory, and that'll be done. So that's going to give us all of our dupes. As for things that we don't need to dupe, we could put those in a separate inventory. So after going back through that, yeah, this looks like it should be enough, and then we can go and upgrade as we need. So I needed like the aluminum, and I needed the other things. Boom, GG. So that's all there is to the guide. You go in, you go out, restore points saved. I get to die again. I dupe my inventory, and then you can use that for money, supplies, anything like that, and then you just go and win. Alright, so a quick little update as well to this. So I realized that I'm in my spaceship right now, and if you go through a black hole, it can damage your reactors. So one way that you could do like a half dupe, I guess, is that you break everything before doing the dupe. What this means is that I'm going to go to the last save point, which means I didn't break all this down, so I'll have the extra resources for if any of my things get damaged. Then when I go through the black hole, I can repair everything, and the warp cells are still in my inventory, so we can double dupe as we need. And I think this might work out. So that's the one thing I want to test right now. So we'll take off. Again, we haven't saved yet. So it doesn't seem like this wouldn't work. Now I just need to find something to go and kill me whenever I can get a trade ship or something. Is that one over here? Oh, no, that's just a part of the space station. I'll just go and die, and then I'll give you guys the update of what happened. Okay, so at this time, it looks like a success. The warp reactors are intact. There's no reason why they wouldn't be. So all I have to do is go through my grave, which means I should have enough empty inventory slots right now to just pretty much go through immediately. And I died in front of the black hole, so that should be a little bit of optimization as well. So there's my grave. There's the black hole. This should actually work out really well. And then as we like pop out through it, we can just go and watch our inventory fill up. Okay, inventory is full because, like, good thing I didn't go straight through the black hole. That can still cause some issues since the warp cell is going to take up a lot of inventory spaces. All right, so we're through, and it looks like nothing was damaged. Okay, then. Just what, like, the little intricacies of this game that I guess is worth exploring because it just happens that way. Oh, here we go. There we go. One of them was, yeah, so, boom, we have all of the resources that we need right now. So a little bit of pre-planning can help out. I guess keeping these resources on you could help throughout duping, you know, just having like a spare stack or something. Same with maybe even a dynamic resonator, and that's going to be pretty solid. Also, I realized that I was 1 Atlas Stone short now. I guess I deleted one too many at some point. So I can dupe that through one of my warp cell dupes. And it kind of shows because one thing that I forgot to do is link up your reactors. So if you link up your reactors, you get like a 10% boost to their effectiveness or something. That's true of anything. So if you have all of the upgrades that you want for your multi-tool, then you can start linking them together afterwards like that. Like all my sigmas and shots and stuff. So you break it down, you get half the resources to rebuild it, you dupe, and then it all comes together. Now, one thing that happened was I just went through a black hole, and I want to see how much closer I am to the center of the galaxy right now. So distance center 162,000. So nice little boost, and then we can just kind of keep on with our adventure. So that's the No Man's Sky dupe. Use as you please. Because, I mean, what we can see right here is that it's 160,000 light years to get to the center. And with fully upgraded drives, you can maybe make a 1,600 jump or so. So I don't want to have to do that 100 times just to beat the game once you've already done it so much. You know, at that point, it's just resource grind. That the only thing that star systems are good for is getting another 5 or 10 fuel cells. That way you can hop to the next one and then the next one, and then you'll eventually beat the game. So you can use this however you please. You can choose to ignore it. You can choose to not glitch. I think that it's alright because this end game just hangs over you, and it can honestly be demoralizing that you're like, I don't have time to explore because I just want to see what the end game is. I just want to beat the game already. So once you actually make it to the center, then you can start appreciating the game even a bit more, which is why you can use this glitch to help aid that. At the same time, non-intended gameplay loop might be patched by the time you watch this video, but I am super excited to see how this could work out for speedrunning, because I think that that's going to be a lot of planning and micromanagement that could really make this game super awesome. That if you just kind of have to jump around and then manage your resources in the beginning, and then all that can snowball through the dupes, then it'll be like the fastest way to beat that game, and then also managing your warp jumps and stuff. So I think that that's something to focus on. But other than that, a little bit of the intricacies, a little bit of the optimization, min-max, and whatnot. So you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you all have a nice day. And so if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.